Okay, so I haven't seen any news today regarding the NordStream sabotage. So I'm assuming, or just guessing, that the gas has actually leaked out now, and the seawater is going into the pipelines, and so there's nothing no video footage to show, so it's not on the news anymore. That would be my guess. So no news as to who's responsible for the sabotage at all. And as far as Ukraine goes, Russia has held referenda and it says it's annexed 4 regions in southern Ukraine, so Donetsk, Luhansk, Kherson, and a fourth one, I can't remember the name of it now. It doesn't matter. It's all a sham referendum, everybody knows that. But the point is, Russia is claiming sovereignty over that land. And so if Ukraine is going to attack into those regions, they are now attacking with NATO weaponry Mother Russia. That's the change, and this is a way for Russia to then justify the use of tactical nuclear weapons, because this is an attack on Mother Russia now, on the Russian motherland, which is something Russia won't tolerate. Historically, they've never tolerated that at all. So escalation upon escalation regarding that, and in the meantime, everyone's attention is being distracted from the top tier's agenda, and that's by design, because that's what this war's all about. I've been diving into this tri-state city plan by the WEF. Now it's quite interesting. What's planned is by 2030 they want to have built a mega city, what's called a mega city, 45 million people to inhabit this city, and it will take up a lot of arable land between Belgium, Holland and parts of Germany. So it's obviously it's going to be a green city. It'll be marketed to the people as a revolutionary city, to displaying all the green technology to make sustainable cities, blah 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 blah, and people will buy it and say it's a wonderful idea. Governments will get behind it, of course, because they're part of that. Well, they're talking to that top tier of people, and the basis for this tri-state city is apparently, and I don't know too much about this yet, but there's been an agreement signed in the United Nations called Agenda 21, which is to do with the agenda for the 21st century, and apparently 175, or it might be 172 countries in the world have signed on to this agreement. There's 3 pillars, and I think from memory they're equity, ecology, and economics, or economy. 3 pillars of the Agenda 21. So that term equity is one that raises interest for me. Equity is not what you think it is. It's not about equality at all. It's about outcomes, equity of outcome rather than equality of opportunity. And to have equity of outcome, you need a huge bureaucracy to to distribute the equity evenly throughout the plebeian society, because the elites, of course, they're above, or the top tier. Keep calling them the elites. The elites has got a connotation to it, and these people. I mean, you could say that the celebrities in Hollywood are part of the elite. They're not what I'm talking about. Okay, most of the top tier that are making, they're not controlling the world. They're just their agenda is moving forward apace, thanks to their continual march forward. They're playing the long game. And they've got lots of pieces in place around the world. Macron is one of them for sure, okay, but Tony Blair was another, and possibly Barack Obama, I'm not sure. But they've had all these pieces in place, and Trump was one of these come out of left field problems for them. That wasn't part of the script. And we've seen how he's been dealt with by the establishment in America, and that's this top tier. That's who they are. They're like the deep state. They're all that the puppet masters, Biden's puppet masters at the moment. So that's why I don't like the term elite, because they're not elites. They're just this very powerful top tier. Not controlling things yet, but that's their idea. That's what they want, and so there's these words that come up that should make any normal thinking human being wary. And one of them's equity, and the other one is describing anyone as far right or Nazi, because they're just terms that are coming out at the moment. These are labels that you think you know the meaning of. And like I said before, the far right is not much different to the far left in that horseshoe shape, right? And fascism is about corporations and governments coming together to control the populace. That's fascism, and that's what you've got in Western society today. The corporations are running the world, basically, at the moment. And I say that with a smile on my face, because obviously the corporations are just lobbying the governments. They're not really in control of anything. They just happen to have a lot of money, and the governments around the world are corrupt as hell. So it all works, and it works in favour of that top tier. So, like I say, Nord Stream, nothing to see here now. Okay, nothing. There's nothing to see, so it's not on the news anymore. And Putin's decided to take that next step towards a minor nuclear confrontation. That's what they want. No such thing as that, of course. They're just, you're looking at destruction of most of the life on the planet, and apparently no way to stop it at the moment. So okay, so yeah, real life interrupted me there again. So yeah, with NordStream2 and who's responsible, I'm starting to think that we'll never know the true answer to that question. I think it's going to be one of life's little mysteries as to who did that. But what you can say is that there's certainly been a large methane emission into the atmosphere there from the pipeline, and to what end we have yet to find out. But it's certainly not a good thing to have happened. It is what it is. It's happened. No use crying over spilt milk. Now with Putin and Ukraine, watch this space really. Let's have a look at what the West does in particular, but they're obviously going to keep supplying arms to Ukraine, and Ukraine, I think, is going to keep pushing to get that territory back, and so they should, in my opinion. Russia's well out of line here. Now, who has sanctioned this in that top tier and why they've done it, I don't know. It's obviously, to me it is obviously a snap out of COVID. So we've had the COVID pandemic. We've got things put in place to control people, track people. We've set precedents regarding people's rights being taken away on a very flimsy pretext. So censorship from the tech sector, in their social media sectors. So they've worked in with government. There's this precedent set there now. The populace cowed basically with fear. So that's a well-known tool for the powerful to use, and then snap into this Ukrainian conflict just at a very convenient time, and that's ongoing. And like I say, it's Russian military doctrine is to use tactical nuclear weapons when called for, when the situation appears. So I'd hate to see it get there, but I won't rule that out. And apparently, along those lines, the Biden administration has spelled out exactly the sort of retaliation that is likely to happen should Putin go down that path. How much weight Putin puts on that, I have no idea. Okay, he obviously doesn't really give a rat's ass what Biden says, and the Biden administration, and look at what you've got in the public sphere there with General Milley looking for white supremacists and making sure everybody's using the correct pronouns throughout the military. I mean, it's a joke. You know, the Americans are making themselves look like absolute idiots on the world stage, and this is one of the reasons why Putin's been given the go-ahead to go into Ukraine, and that's something he's wanted to do, so it works in well with him. So that's basically the situation we're at the moment. I'm going to keep drilling down into this tri-state city. I want to know more about what that's about, and also I've kicked up this Agenda 21, which is the agenda for the 21st century, signed by, I think it's 72 countries in the world, and it's I've read a bit of the UN blurb about it, and it's very dry, very difficult, well, not difficult to read, but it's boring as hell to read, and there's a fair bit of jargon in it, so it's a matter of understanding exactly what they're meaning when they say there's equity, for example. Why do we have to have equity? Equality of outcome. Why is that necessary? I don't understand. I mean, you know, diversity and equity, two apparently very important terms that need to be adhered to socially, but I don't see why. I don't understand why someone's skin colour should make something diverse just to look at our board of directors and see that 10% of them have got a slightly darker skin than the rest of them. It doesn't make any sense to me why that would be seen as diverse. They could all be in lockstep in their heads. So it's a strange term, diversity and equity. Again, just leads to a massive bureaucracy that would have to be paid for by the serfs, by the taxpayers. So I need to have a further look at this Agenda 21, and I'll have more information and more to say on that in a future video. But in the meantime, I'm still releasing some videos based to develop a context around what I'm talking about here, and like I'm trying to start some kind of conversation around this geopolitical agenda that is it's fairly widely known regarding the WEF and their agenda. We've got a bit of noise from the rain in the background here, so I'm in the monsoon at the moment in Thailand. I'll keep you up to date on that, and look, you know, if you can help get this conversation going by sharing, liking, commenting, and possibly if you can, if you're able to donate a couple of dollars a month. And what I'll do there is, for the people who want to actually put some skin in the game, we'll organise some streaming Zoom calls or something, Skype, Zoom, and we'll, you know, get some people talking on and bounce some ideas around, and let's try and make some ripples, some waves. You can't let these arseholes have their own way without just making some kind of effort to thwart global friggin' bureaucracy. Any like-minded people are going to see where I'm coming from on that. So without further ado, I'll see you in the next video.